every man that hath this hope purifies himself, even as he is pure. This hope is the hope of the gospel. This was not John's personal version of his hope.
Yeah.
This is the hope. It's the hope of the gospel. This is the hope that saves, like Paul wrote in Romans 8.
Yes.
This is the hope that is our anchor, like is written to the Hebrews. This is the hope that does not disappoint, like is promised in the book of Romans. This is the hope that is the helmet of salvation, like was written to the Thessalonians. The hope of being like him is the hope. It's not one of the hopes that the Lord is offering like on a smorgasbord of religion. If you don't have the hope of being like him and the hope of seeing him as he is, you don't have hope. This is the hope. We shall be like him. All other valid hopes actually fall under this hope. All other valid hopes that the Lord has promised. You will see his face. His servants shall serve him, and they shall see his face. That hope is unattainable unless you're like him, and unless you see him as he is. The hope of all sorrow and crying shall flee away, that hope is unattainable unless you become like him.
Yeah.
When you see him as he is. So every other promise that the Lord has given hangs on this of you being like him. When you're like him, then all the other ones come with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Amen.
It is no hope at all when other men possess it without the Lord. It's not hope if you can get it, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It's not hope if it's possible to get it without the Lord.
Amen.
Without the gospel, without being born again, without the ministry of the angels. That's not hope if it can come any other way other than seeing him as he is. It's no hope at all if you have to leave it when you die.
That's right.
It's not hope. Why does a man yet hope for what he sees? Well, we hope for what we do not see, and we patiently wait for it.
Yeah.
It is no hope at all if the gospel doesn't deliver it. If I can find other ungodly men possessing what I'm hoping for, then I'd better check up on what I'm hoping for. If it doesn't separate you from the world, it's not this hope. This hope separates you from the world. We shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. This is the hope that moves you to purity. This hope alienates you from this present evil world like the angels took Lot out of the city. This hope is the hope that makes you a stranger in the land like Abraham. This hope is the hope that sets you on a journey to the promised land like Israel. Now there are counterfeit hopes in the world that can't do what this hope does. You shall know them by their fruits. Well, that applies to more than just people. Jesus was talking about people when he said you shall know them by their fruits, but you'll know the doctrine by its fruit. Wisdom is justified of her children. So what is this hope producing? What this hope produces pure people.
Yeah.
This is what purity is, the child that's vindicating her mother, which is hope. You see that?
Yes.
Wisdom is vindicated of her children.
That's right.
So the hope, this hope of the gospel makes pure children.
Yeah.
Separates you from the world, makes you a stranger in this world. Other hopes offer temporal things, offer things that fade away. Other hopes mind earthly things, but this hope is what purifies. This hope is being like him, for we shall see him as he is. This hope is like an agent of the Lord. The Lord sent this hope as an ambassador. It's like the Lord commissioned hope to go into the places of the world and to purify the children. And the Lord sends hope with this work to do. Like the Lord sent John the Baptist before the face of the Lord to prepare his way, to make straight paths, to bring down the high places, bring up the low places, and to make a people what? Prepared for the Lord.
Yeah.
So our hope is like John the Baptist, making you ready for the coming of the Lord, bringing down the high places, bringing up the low places, and preparing you so when the Lord comes, you can see him as he is, and that's the last element of your redemption. Then it'll be complete when you see him as he is. Hope is like the hand of the potter shaping the clay according to the pleasure of the potter. Hope, when a person has hope, things change.
Yeah. Right.
And when the potter spins the wheel and presses his hand into that featureless piece of clay, well, then the featureless piece of clay is on its way to being a masterpiece. That hope is like the hands of the potter, pushing its will and shaping its will according to his desire, according to his pleasure. Changing the image of the clay for the work that he's prepared for it. This hope is making the vessel into something it never was before, pure. This hope is making it in the vessel into something that nobody else could make it, a pure vessel. Nobody else can make a pure vessel except for hope and the potter who is making it. The ancient tabernacle was like a microcosm of our condition. Inside of the tabernacle was light. Inside of the tabernacle was bread. Inside the tabernacle was gold. Inside the tabernacle was the incense. The presence of the Lord was inside of the tabernacle, but you didn't see any of those things if you were outside looking at the tabernacle. In fact, the tabernacle looked rather crude. And it was intended to be rather crude. What looked like on the outside was not indicative of what was on the inside, and what was inside did not at all indicate what was on the outside. Doesn't that sound like you and me? We have treasure in an earthen vessel. This hope is what purifies. Beware of any hope that makes you comfortable in these bodies. Amen. Beware of any hope that doesn't extend past the day of judgment. Being like our master, Jesus said it's enough that the student be as his master, the disciple, to be as his master. Being like our master is the object of this hope. We will be like him, for we shall see him as he is. This hope will not This hope will not even leave us one step short of being like him.
Amen.
It will not overlook the smallest detail of his image being imprinted upon us. The cornerstone of this hope is being like him. Not just in name. We have his name now. But this hope is going to make us like him in spirit, not only in name. This hope is not going to leave us in like him only in heart, but it's going to make us like him in body.
Amen.
That fashioned like unto his glorious body. This hope. Now it's making us inwardly like him, then it's going to make us outwardly like him. We shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. We will be in thoughts like him, in words like him, in deeds like him, in body like him. We shall drop this robe of flesh, and we will be like him. We will fold up this tabernacle and be like him. We will be done with these earthen vessels, and we will be like him. That's the hope.
Amen.
If your hope leaves you short of that, you don't have hope.
Amen.
We will say to these bodies, whither I go, ye cannot come.
Yeah.
And we'll be like him.
Amen.
That which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. These bodies they're right on the edge. They're ripe to vanish away. And we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Now the Lord's very tender towards us. I want to give a word of explanation here about verse 2. Is that when it says it doth not yet appear what we shall be, John's not confessing, he's not confessing ignorance here. He's not saying, I don't have any idea what we're going to be like. No, he's saying it just doesn't appear.
Yes,
It's not viewable what we're going to be like. But the seed is there. John knew, he was telling them. We shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. He's not confessing ignorance when he says, it doth not yet appear. It just means when the people on the outside look at me, it doesn't appear to them what I will be, but it's starting to appear to me what I will be. I will be like him, for I shall see him as he is. Now the Lord is so tender towards us that John, He affirms here, beloved, now we are the sons of God. Now, verse 3, he's talking about what we will be.